The city is, of course, holy to not only Judaism, but Islam and Christianity. The old city is not very large, but within it are some of the most holy sites in the three major monotheistic faiths in the world. You see on the map to the left, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, reported to be built on top of the tomb in which Jesus Christ was buried between Good Friday and the Resurrection. You have then the Temple Mount, just to the right of this map here. The Temple Mount is so named because prior to 70 AD it was the site of the second Jewish temple. The first had been destroyed by the Babylonians under Nebuchadnezzar in the 6th century BC, subsequently rebuilt and destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD. All that survives is the platform on which the temple was built. This was where the Ark of the Covenant was kept. This is the only place where sacrifices could be made to Yahweh. And since the temple has been destroyed now for going on 2,000 years, no sacrifices have been made to Yahweh in those 2 millennia. On top of the Temple Mount now, though, is not the Jewish temple, rather the Dome of the Rock, built at the end of the 7th century by the Umayyad Caliphates from Damascus, the same Umayyad caliphs who had defeated the Shia at the Battle of Karbala in 680. The Dome of the Rock is built upon the site which is purported to be where Muhammad ascended into heaven for his night journey. It was not the ascension of Muhammad upon his death, because Muhammad was immortal and died just as any mortal. But from this rock, according to the Islamic tradition, Muhammad did ascend into heaven, was given a brief glimpse of the glories of the afterlife. The Umayyad Caliphs then built the present structure in 692. It is one of the holiest places in Islam. Also, on top of the Temple Mount today is the Aqsa Mosque. Al-Aqsa Mosque is also a construction project by the Umayyad Caliphs in the 8th century and is considered to be one of the holiest mosques in all of Islam. And so on top of the Temple Mount here, you have 2 of the holiest Islamic sites in the world. So important is Jerusalem to Islam, in fact, that for the first several decades of the Islamic faith in the 7th century, the direction of the 5 daily prayers, the Qibla, was not towards Mecca, but rather was towards Jerusalem. It is not a city as important as Mecca today, or nor has it been, but it is nonetheless an incredibly important city to the Muslim faith, and is yet another of the major stumbling blocks on the road to peace. The Israelis want it, the Palestinians want it, and neither is really willing to compromise much on the issue of Jerusalem. For Jews, the site is holy because of this. This is the Western Wall, also known as the Wailing Wall. It is the only tangible remains of the old temple. This is a site at which Dayan prayed in June of 1967, giving thanks for what seemed like a completely miraculous victory. Jews from all the world come here today to pray and to slip their prayers into cracks on the wall, writing their prayers on small scraps of paper. There was a bit of an international religious incident during the presidential campaign. President Barack Obama, then candidate Barack Obama, visited Jerusalem and the West Wall, wrote a prayer on a sheet of paper, as is the custom, and inserted it in the wall. Not long after, the prayer was illegally taken out of the wall, against religious custom, and the divinity student, the Israeli divinity student who did so, got in quite a bit of trouble with his rabbi superiors. Such a small piece of land, and yet so incredibly important to Jews and to Muslims. We see here is the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the right, the Dome of the Rock on the left, and between them, the Western Wall. Compromise on Jerusalem. Well, to say it's difficult doesn't do justice to the word difficult. When we come back next time, we'll take a closer look at the plight of the Palestinians, who now for more than 4 decades have been living under Israeli occupation. We'll look at the resistance, at Yasser Arafat and Fatah, at the Palestinian Liberation Organization, at the Intifada in 1987 and in 2000, and finally Hamas, the product of the 1987 Intifada. Next time.